southbound bus passenger chasing the rising sun. Watching milky-colored skies with sleepy eyes fill me from dreams. Skies still hazy with starry residue, layered like delicate tiramisu. Little lights behind thin icing, twinkling. Thinking that I might be missing Mississauga. Thinking that I might catch homesickness in full twilight, when the sun faces a different face of the earth, and the moon's phases stamp the sky, searching for me. I'm sorry, but the daydreaming GTA is too close to ground level, because I'm a southbound commuter, my control center conscience careening at the curb terrified, strapped to the Islington pillars, far away from the yellow line, the yellow horizon, guiding the first 2 stars of the front car to the university universe downtown. I'm a front car sitter, facing forward to the future, spaceships, rocket ships, spacing out by this door as I rock back and forth. I see my stops before I stop. Claustrophobic caves fit the train like a sleeve, can't stop me when I see in its blackness an expanse of starless galaxies, and we are traveling at light speed. And these light years melt the heavy high school years off our shoulders, because they are as old school as Pluto will go where this leads us, down the Bloor-Danforth line, where every stop is a pocket full of passengers waiting to board our time capsule, led by a robot goddess, our intercom co-pilot. And I am learning her language. Kipling, Islington, Royal York, Old Mill, Jane, Runnymede, High Park, Kiel, Dundas West, Lansdowne, Duffin, Ossington, Christie, Bathurst, Spadina, and I sigh and I grin, wondering how much have we traveled into the future? How much have we aged? As St. George rolls in with its green tile Eden, even then, my rocky balance, unaccustomed to zero gravity, makes my way to the travesty of passengers. We wait for the doors to slide apart. The air smells like dusty galaxy. They say my destiny is a lie, but look at me now. I have arrived. Thank you. This poem is called Bad Habits. When I asked my friend from Vietnam what his first impression of winter was, he said he loved the smoke. Vapor escaping from cracked lips, I was smoking without smoking, he said, smiling. At that moment, I emptied my lungs and watched the breath spiral upwards into towers. I stared at these skyscrapers I had grown used to. I told him I shared the sentiment, but I didn't, and we kept walking. Downtown disappeared behind us. The skyline silhouette swallowing our shadows. What happens when those shadows become part of our daytime routine? Toronto clock face. The CN Tower's slender shadow ticking across the cityscape. I could sit next to City Hall and feel all 4 seasons bathe my body in the span of 12 hours and not give it a second thought. These towers are so proud of casting shadows. Sometimes I wonder why we can't be. There is no shame in blocking the rays and watching the darkness spill from your toes under the cement. It only meant you had flesh and bone. I am so sorry for forgetting my friend who followed me every morning and led me home by twilight. I am so sorry for forgetting that every puff was a cloud, part of an atmosphere encasing a living planet in my belly. I am so sorry that when we parted at that intersection, I forgot to tell him I would see him next week. But when he disappeared into the shadows, I wrung my lungs until the breath trickled out. I am so happy to be alive, to witness my shadow, because Because you cannot cast one when you are buried 10 feet under. I am so happy to be alive, to see my breath, because everything dies in the winter. Thank you. When we stand at the edge of the universe and feel the stardust ebb and flow between our toes, we the Filipinos brush our shoulders against celestial wind, our body darkened from a million kisses from the galaxies. We comb our fingers through hair thick and wavy, washed in rivers of stars. From atop our island home, we glance down at the planets beneath us, bobbing in their heavenly swimming pool, drenched. Limbs outstretched, Saturn's arms clenched, her rings rolling on her wrists. And Mars' 2 moons squinting back at us. And the Earth beating like a heart, vessel stressing around the sapphire muscle as its rhythms match our racing hearts. Behind us, deep British blue meteor belts blossom into space, and red Spanish dust clouds form, their debris whistling past our ears like gunshots, driving us away. When we leap at the edge of the universe, elbows locked, knees braced, meteor belts scrape the hull of our boat, we leave behind our dying home, tattered with red scabs and blue bruises. When we enter the atmosphere, thousands of ancestor stories will whistle past our ears, course through our bodies, as the earth races closer, waiting for that resistance to resonate violently up our souls and into the spines of future generations. We will ride the blood rush through twisting streams and red ruby rivers, screaming at the top of our lungs as we teeter at the edge of the world, and feel for a moment our fears become weightless. Generations later, a breeze flutters through the looser seams of this boat, as we wish we could return home, somewhere up there where our ancestors used to watch the earth beat to the rhythms of our rowing. But instead, we sow stars, hoping that one day, among clouds of Sampaguita, galaxies will come bursting forth in Milky Way and honey. But instead, they told us we used to be angels who had fallen from the edge of the universe. These days, we trail our fingers against the surface of the water and watch our stories like the ripples begin growing. We are going everywhere and nowhere, knowing that our flowing is just another wave kissing the paddles of our rowing.